Welcome back to Plastic Surgery Untold, greatest podcast in the world, as voted by us. Super excited here. Special guests all the way from the Mayo Clinic, Dr. Saranya Wyles. And you're a longevity regenerative medicine expert. And we were talking a little bit before, one of your big passions is really making this real and validated for patients, because I think it's an exciting topic, but sometimes people have been a little nervous because those terms have maybe been used a little loosely and fast in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the world of regenerative aesthetics and longevity have really catapulted. We're seeing a lot of exciting new trends, but sometimes we tend to put the cart in front of the horse. So how do we get that validation intact? And I think the first thing I always start with is talking about regenerative medicine. True regenerative medicine is human sources. We have to tap into within ourselves of how we regenerate naturally. And humans have been fascinated by this since Greek mythology. The story of Prometheus, where Zeus's eagle would come and peck at his liver and the liver would regenerate every night. So our bodies have this incredible power to regenerate different organ systems. The skin regenerates, the heart regenerates. So when we kind of think about regenerative medicines, naturally leaning into those human sources is very important. But human sources are variable. That's fundamentally true. So any company that produces a human-based regenerative product, these are going to have variability based on source, based on who's the donor, based on how it's processed. So that whole process is called biomanufacturing. And I think it's really important for us to understand that to be able to deliver on the promise of regenerative medicine.
So if I'm a patient out there and I'm trying to figure out, because you hear so much advertisement, social media, TikTok, whatever it is about regenerative medicine, what should they look for? What questions should they ask their provider?
Great question. I think they should ask their providers to share with them like peer-reviewed literature and publications that are out there, share with them about clinical trials that are ongoing, whether it's in the United States or elsewhere, because we want science that's really backed by validated data-driven evidence, right? And I think right now we're kind of focused on cases or one-off reports of N=1 experiences, and collectively that doesn't add up to really the larger goal of what we can deliver with these treatments. So it's still going to take time to get a lot of these approved in the United States, but I think looking at clinical trials is going to be a really important space.
For some of our patients out there listening, can you give them the 2-minute cliff note of like what the difference is? Because, we've heard of PRP, exosomes, now secretomes, and maybe just a kind of quick synopsis and what's the difference and why should they do one versus the other? And I know that's a dissertation in 2 minutes.
Absolutely. So 2 minutes, let's go. So I think the evolution of the regenerative portfolio has really gone from stem cells to PRP to growth factors, and now exosomes are the cutting edge. Polynucleotides have also entered the market, and it's really important to understand the differences. So knowing that products that are platelet-based are fantastic. They are natural sources in the blood. They have a proclivity to regenerate. So thinking about PRP is a great start. There's also platelet-derived exosomes now, and we've done a lot of research and studies and published around that. So I think the studies are showing a lot of promise on those platelet-based exosomes. There's also other products, like you're saying, that are newer, polynucleotides and secretomes, et cetera, but they still need more evidence. And I think looking at research and publications and knowing that it could be an individualized approach. Just as much as we have variability in the sources, you have variability in the patient responses. So one product is not a fit-all. You kind of have to work with your provider to see what's best for you.
I think that's what's super interesting. I think in the past, they've kind of gotten mixed results because we've kind of used them as a shotgun approach and same treatment to 12 people and 3 got really phenomenal results. Half got sort of okay, and then 3 people didn't see any difference. And so I think that's been challenging. Sounds like from what you're seeing in the future, you're really going to be able to see this more personalized, and people can actually depending on your specific issue, one of these may be better than the others.
Exactly. And now we're getting into the world of getting those tests to measure what's wrong first so that we can target better treatments, personalized treatments down the road.
For patients that are listening, what would be the top 2 or 3 maybe tips you can give them if they're interested in longevity? Because I know that's another passion project of yours.
Absolutely. So know that the space of longevity is really growing. And what does it mean, first of all? I think we should just start and define that the idea of longevity is life in years. The goal is not to extend how long you live. The goal is how well you live. You know, we are living longer, but the last years of our lives are often plagued with chronic disease. And what we have excellent evidence for in longevity science is still things like diet and nutrition, and exercise. So really kind of getting behind, how can we optimize our gut health, our gut microbiome, eating the right things, fasting, mimicking diets and fasting-driven intermittent fasting plans, including some strength training and exercises that increase muscle mobility and joint function, and then collectively adding other treatments in as an adjuvant, things like red light, cold plunge, sauna. Those are also gaining some evidence, but we're at a very early stage in understanding a lot of things. I think if you're going to go all in, it's probably diet and exercise still, but I think we're going to see a lot of things as an add-on.
And really cool to summarize some of the stuff you're saying is that I think that in the past we've used these, but now there's some real science to help guide people, and we're only scratching the surface. I think over the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see some major changes as a lot of people, and obviously you're an example of this at the Mayo Clinic, investing time, effort, and obviously super intelligent people like yourself to really kind of guide us in what are the right options that truly are data-driven.
Yeah. And I think the final thought here I can leave you with is that thinking about aging is not binary. You're not young one day and old the other day. It's a continuum. So we're constantly aging all the time, and thinking about it as levels of aging so that we can create approaches of how we target that across the spectrum.
This has been absolutely fabulous. I appreciate you taking some time. For all of our listeners, where can they find you or follow you on social media to get more information?
Absolutely. So I'm on Instagram, Dr. Wyles, WYLES.derm. So happy to have them connect there.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.